to the 11th episode of the One Bite at a Time show.
This is where we research the most relevant information in today's business and give it to you one bite at a time.
Because how do you eat an elephant?
One bite at a time.
So Roxanne, what's in store for today?
Today we're going to talk about the salesman's secret sauce, the CRM, also known as your customer relationship management.
And of course, we're not here to try to get community members to work with vintage mortgage firm, although that's kind of a little secret. But anyways, and that's not what this is all about. We have real estate agents in other states that will watch these kinds of videos, and we want to be able to make sure that they have the ability to understand how important a good, robust CRM is. But
well, I just want to make it very clear to all of our agents that any CRM that you choose, and especially the method that Steve and I are talking about, it's going to take hours and hours of preparation. This is definitely one of those times when you're working on your business instead of in your business. A lot of unpaid time will go into perfecting this CRM.
Holy moly, I can't tell you how right you are. I remember when I started out working with Keep and starting to build my sales stage campaigns. That was the first thing I wanted to do, is build that client retention sales stage campaigns. And I remember spending hours and hours and hours on it. Again, you don't need this type or customer relationship management system like Keep or any of the other ones in the beginning. You don't need that. You need a lead generating machine, like I've talked about so many times. I've screamed it from the rooftop. That is my big secret. The CRM just takes it to the next level. It's a contact or client relationship management software. Now, people call CRM like Outlook. Okay. You can do lots of things with Outlook, and you can build your lead generating machine with Outlook. And I did, and I would recommend that to anybody starting to work their own database, because you don't want to be messing around with making emails, making videos, and all that when you don't even have your database up and running. You're not doing the minimum basic things to make phone calls come in. So that's not what this is about. This is after you've built that lead generating machine. You got to understand that. You start doing this now, it's a waste of time. But when you get that lead generating machine built, and or a database where you're starting to market it with emails, newsletters, a mailing once a month, a letter maybe once or twice a year, and you're actually starting to do what you need to do with the database, and you know where to put a brand new business card that you found or you got when you're talking to somebody, and you can put it in your database. Once you have that done, before you start getting all creative with adding parts to that lead generating machine, stop there and then start considering, okay, how can I advance my cause and make working with me the most comfortable, most relevant situation?
Yes, I also think it's very important that all parties are on the same page. There's nothing like having a client always calling the real estate agent for loan updates. That's definitely when we drop the ball as a lender.
So for example, when we go to loan documents and I move that sales stage from approved with conditions to clear to close, ordering loan documents, everybody involved is going to get an email. Escrow, title, the real estate agent for the buyer, the real estate agent for the seller, the buyer, the buyer's spouse, the processor's assistant. Everybody gets what they need to get. Now, using a really good CRM is often expensive. The program that I'm using was, we got started years and years ago when it was first brand new. It was first one out like it, and it's stayed ahead of its competition for many, many years. But there are other companies out there that are much cheaper that will do similar things. But if you don't have some kind of a management system to not only handle contacts, but also handle tasks, and also handle the loan process, or in your case, it would be the sales process. So you can actually have task lists that come up when you need them. You have reminders that come up to you when you need them. If somebody clicks on a particular section in an email, you get instantly notified. If somebody clicks on a particular link in an email, the email sequence that they're maybe getting right now stops, and it starts a completely different email sequence in order to keep the emails coming to that borrower or that client in the most relevant way possible. We've all seen junk and spam emails, so you don't want it to appear that way. We want messages in the customer relationship management system going out to our actual borrowers. We want that information to be extremely relevant. So when they're getting an approval, for example, for their loan, we can tell them in no uncertain circumstances, what does that mean? What can you expect? What should you be doing now? What should you be thinking about? And we're giving them different things. Like, for example, when a loan is approved in a purchase transaction, we're sending them a moving checklist along with videos to try to explain the process. Even explaining every single detail of the loan makes people feel more comfortable, and someone who feels more comfortable, more knowledgeable about a transaction feels better about it.
Yeah, Steve, we actually get a really good feedback with our drip campaign as far as the loan process is concerned. You do a great job, or we do a great job with being metaphoric, being able to explain the loan process to our clients in a way that they can connect with it, something familiar to them, because they don't do loans every day. We do.
How do you think this particular system could work for a real estate agent?
Same thing with the home buying process. There are stages. Yes, it has stages. It's not just when they open escrow. We have sales campaigns when they're just getting started. If there's hiccups in their transition, whether it's credit repair or they're taking care of something else to prep them to be able to get ready for the pre-approval process. And then we even have additional campaigns. And let's just say they fell off, and we're just wanting them to keep us in mind, and then we'll be alerted after a certain amount of time to reach out to them to see if home buying is still of their interest. And I think the realtor can do the exact same thing. Again, there's process to buying homes. It's not just the transaction. And also being able to use a drip campaign to get referrals. It may not just be that client, but who does that client know that will want to use your services?
Yeah, right. And I think that one of the things that I've seen, and some of this is hard to hear sometimes when we're dealing with different real estate agents 3, 4, 5, 6 years later, because you remember, you got to work this business in the future, not in the past. But 3, 4, 5, 6 years from now, one of our clients who was referred to us by an agent will call us back and say, okay, we're done. We're going to sell this house and we're going to move to Long Beach, and we would like to buy another house. We always get your emails and we want you to help us because you made the transaction so smooth, or whatever reason. And I'll ask them, I say, okay, who was your agent during the transaction? And they won't know. I've actually stopped asking them that. Instead, I'm telling them their agent, because I have their information. I bring it up. I see their agent is Debbie Smith, and I say, okay, have you talked to Debbie? And I try to bring that client right back to the very same referral partner that referred that business to us. I think that's extremely important. So even if a real estate agent doesn't have a really good, robust client relationship management system, CRM, that's what it stands for, then we're actually there standing in the middle to make sure that their clients are getting followed up with.
So Steve, I mean, I've seen your system and I know how robust it is. And I know that took lots and lots of time and lots of hours. So how did you get started?
Well, it was an enormous task. Of course, I had already built the database. I was already marketing to it properly. I was already busy because it was working. But in order to move to the next step, I knew I needed videos. I wanted videos of me explaining certain parts. And since you came on board, Roxanne, I wanted to add you into that mix as well. So I've recently started working on a lot of hours again, just to kind of update our system to add you to it. And that's taken some time, but it's an enormous thing. It's almost like eating an elephant. You got to start with one bite at a time. So first things first, pick out which CRM, customer relationship management system, you're going to use. Maybe you're going to gravitate away from Outlook and 2, a new CRM that's going to be more robust. So that's the first step, and that's the first bite. And then after that, which campaigns do I want to start on? I suggest you start on your customer retention or customer relationship campaigns for customers who are in the system. In other words, somebody's raised their hand. In other words, they've called you and said they're interested in listing a house or buying a house. You want those 2 campaigns, a new buyer that wants to buy a house and a new seller that wants to sell a house. You're going to have 2 different campaigns. And so when you realize who you're talking to and you've opened up your CRM and you're entering them into the contact fields, you're check marking certain blocks, you're tagging them in certain ways so that as soon as you hit submit, certain campaigns start out immediately. And the first sales stage would be a new lead, a new buyer lead, a new sales lead, and or a new seller lead. And then at that point, you go on from there. Which sales stage is next for the buyer? Which sales stage is next for the seller or for a seller? And you'll just build those down through the process. And once you get your sales stage campaigns or drip campaigns done, then you'll actually know by then where you want to move next. I know that, like, if you normally you don't have to, you only build this once. Okay, you only have to eat this damn elephant one time. But as time goes on, you may set yourself time to review the emails and the videos you've created and make sure that they're still relevant. And that's not hard to do. Once you've ate the elephant, it's just a matter of, verifying everything's still relevant. I remember I did this years ago, and it was just recently I started looking to make sure all the links continue to work. And I found some links that weren't working anymore. And so I fixed some of that. And I'm sure some of my customers got emails that a link didn't work. And sometimes they would tell me, and then I would go in there and fix that link for that particular email. But normally you don't have that problem. And I found some really cool ways to prevent links from stopping to work. For example, if I'm linking to a YouTube video, I don't link it to that other person's YouTube video. I download that video and I put that YouTube video in my YouTube channel. So now the link for it isn't going to break. And so there's certain things that we can do to make sure that what we do once doesn't have to be redone, unless something big changes, like you add on a new partner, or you add on, you're changing something, or obviously when you're doing these videos, you don't want to have ABC Realty right behind you unless you own ABC Realty, because you might change companies and then you got to go down and redo all those videos. There's so many things you got to think about. And that's why you don't want to be doing this first. You want to be building that database management system first, and make sure that you have that going and running and certain things going out, and you don't have to redo that again either. You do that first. That'll bring in the business. And once you have business coming in, you're going to be thinking about, okay, how do I improve how I look as a company, as a professional, to those customers as we're going through the transaction. And Roxanne, what do you hate about our customer management system?
That I have to use it. I have to use it for it to work, and I hate it because it's just another thing to do, but I love it when we actually do it.
Yeah, it was hard when I left Outlook. I still use Outlook in my email system, but it's kind of merges in now. So anything that comes in and out from an Outlook email, it shows up on the customer contact fields in Keep. So that's kind of cool, but I like the feel of the Outlook email system. But I use everything else now in Keep. Tasks, of course, the management of the customer, the client. That's where all my database is in there now. It's no longer in Outlook. But I'll tell you, it was a little bit of a process. Like I said in the last episode, the only person in life that likes change is a baby with a dirty diaper. As you get older, the older you get, the less you like change. And so the process of moving over to Keep from Outlook was not easy for me, and it's not easy for you, but now it's a second nature. I don't even think about going to Outlook anymore for a contact and to open up a contact, to find a contact, I look into Keep. I even look into Keep to find an email sent to a contact. So there's so many things that now Keep is all about. In fact, I've got Keep set up so that when I click on the email, it just opens up my Outlook email client, and I'm able to send an email through Outlook, but it's actually initiated through Keep. So with all this technology, I can't believe what's happening today, and it's so cool to be alive in these years. I would love to be 20 years old, just getting started in this industry right now, knowing what I know. That would be really nice, knowing what I know. My daughter Elena is a brand new real estate agent. And so I'm starting to realize and feel for her, because she's feeling these same feelings that I felt in the beginning, like database. I was told so many times how important it was to have a database, but that there was so many reasons why I didn't start. Oh, I don't know anybody. Oh, nobody I know is old enough to buy a house, or nobody I know is going to think of me professionally. There's so many reasons why people don't do databases. I've heard them all. I felt them all. So I'm feeling or seeing the same feelings in Elena that I saw back then, or felt back then.
Our hearts go out to you, Elena, because we know this feeling.
So I want to make sure we understand the different terminology here. The database management would be like a standard database management that would be like Outlook, or some of you have proprietary software that you use. In most cases, if they do a little drip campaign, in most cases, those are, in my words, those are database management. Then you have a contact relationship management system, or a customer relationship management system. I like to call them both sometimes, because the contacts are all the people in your world, people, your sphere of influence, people who know, like, and trust you, which will grow now that you have a place to put people. All those people that have not yet become customers of yours, that's important to understand. It's a contact relationship management system. And then of course the customer becomes a customer using the same software, but now it's a customer relationship management system, or it's a transactional management system. You have to have something very robust for that. Those kinds of software programs cost more money, of course, but they're well worth it when you want to step up to the next level of your professional business. And if you're treating your business as a professional, sooner or later, you have to make this move. Sooner or later, you have to make this move. Sooner or later, you have to make this move.
You're very right. As a salesperson, if you can't handle the database, you're not going to be able to handle the CRM. So we have to make sure we're doing the database first before implementing a CRM.
Oh, by the way, I put a link back in the email that you just got that gives you the ability to go watch a video about Keep. I'm not here to sell Keep, because there are other software programs that will be a great customer relationship management software. But if you want to learn more about Keep, go back to the email and watch that video. For you, if you want to call me and talk to me about it, I'd be happy to help you. As a matter of fact, if you want help setting your system up, I might be able to help you too. I'm not going to do it for you, but I can help you understand parts of it. Of course, anytime, just give me a call. And I'd be happy to help you. And of course, you don't have to work with Vintage Mortgage Firm.
Yes, you do have to work with Vintage Mortgage Firm.
No, you don't have to work with Vintage Mortgage Firm.
But I will say, Steve gets very geeked out when it comes to Keep. So if this is something that really interests you, he's a great resource.
And I like that.
Your lighting is really off.
I don't understand. Let me switch it over and see what I'm talking about. Oh yeah, what the hell is that?